Okay, I need to open this episode by talking about a kelpie.
The kelpie?
Yeah, because Nesta in one chapter, who was drinking herself in oblivion and couldn't get out of bed, is now in a bog, grabbed by an ancient monster that hasn't been seen in hundreds of years, gets dragged to the bottom of the water, and then comes up holding its severed head
Holding its head.
while wearing the mask, commanding the army of the dead. I want everybody to understand what kind of character development we are witnessing.
And that's not even the most chaotic thing that happens in these chapters. We also have the baby with the wings secret that Rhys is keeping from Feyre.
And Nesta blows that up spectacularly. And I appreciate her doing it, but it was not done in maybe the right way.
She used it as a weapon.
Hmm.
It was used as a weapon at the wrong time. She was mad, and she wasn't mad at Feyre, but she directed her anger at Feyre.
Hmm.
And just right there, that right there is the heart of what her problem is.
Hmm.
She is taking her anger on herself out. At that point in time, her feelings are hurt
Hmm.
by Amryn, but she can't blame Amryn, and that's why she's mad.
Yes.
And Feyre comes in to stop it, and she doesn't want to be stopped. And she just accidentally and spectacularly throws this huge grenade into Feyre's pregnancy. It was one that was already there, I should say. She pulled the pin.
Yeah.
And now the happiness that Feyre was feeling is gone, and she's responsible for that. And she doesn't feel bad that she told her, but she definitely feels guilt for the reason she told her. She feels badly that she told her with such a rage in her heart.
Yes. There's a will and a way to do everything, and that was not the way to do that.
No, no, no. And then let's not forget she accidentally makes three weapons. Like, she basically accidentally makes another trove
And then,
just by pounding some shit.
yeah. And then Lanthus, an ancient god, telling Nesta she could restart the wild hunt with him. And she's like, oh, no, no, thank you.
That scene got to me this time. Just when I say got to me, it was I like the anger, the grossness, like
Hmm. Yeah,
because
no,
he
no.
was like so slithery and yicky and just you can't kill me and I don't know.
He had
This
Lord
just
he had Lord Hodgeham vibes.
he did major Lord Hodgeham vibe.
He,
You.
he needs to get stabbed
And
by scissors.
well, he got stabbed with Ataraxia, which is a little bit better.
True.
But all of this culminates at a very important moment at the lake where Nesta finally breaks down, cries, and tells Cassian she let her father die and that she is not okay.
Nobody was okay. And this section of the book is a lot. It's a lot. I cried. I feel her pain, and we've all been at that low. So let's go. Let's dive in. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Pickle Party, where a menace gets a little naughty. Join the bride, it's book club time. Tropes and memes and feeling oh my.
All right, welcome back, Brian Babes. We are in part two of A Court of Silver Flames, chapters 29 through 55. We're going to be covering the scrying nightmares, the bug, ataraxia being forged, the baby with wings secret, the hiking breakdown, the prison, Lanthus, and a lot of Nesta and Cassian, which we will call Nessian.
But if you skipped part one, stop right here, go back a couple episodes. It's going to be Silver Flame Part 1. Sit down, take a listen to it because it's going to be the foundation that matters in terms of understanding what we're going to talk about this episode.
So these chapters were SJM saying, you thought slow burn was the hard part. Hold on. We're going to go to a bug.
Listen, Nesta's character arc in these chapters goes from like, I can't get down the stairs to holding a kelpie's severed head. And that's just like the range that we're dealing with.
Right.
It goes from I get winded checking the mail to I'm going to run the New York Marathon.
Right.
It's very inspiring in terms of what she is able to do. And some of it is training and some of it I think is just pure Nesta.
Hmm.
Like some of it I think is just who she is. I think Well, he does say in the first part of the book when she starts the training, he's impressed with how quickly she catches onto the footwork. And that's when you find out that she has a very strong dancing background, that she was known to just dominate the ballroom back in their heyday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also during these chapters we find out a little bit more about how she could weaponize a talent when she sees one. And just another prime example of Nesta being Nesta. Like, it's interesting how they focus heavily on Nesta. We've talked before, for Feyre, it's painting. For Elaine, it's baking and nurturing and growing. And we finally find out what makes Nesta tick is music and dance. And that's a nice, I think, humanizing factor to her character.
It is.
Makes her less icy.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out she was good at it. And she's able to translate that into the movements that she needs to forge or wield these weapons and defend herself.
Yeah, I was thinking like how it connects like dance moves to like fight moves, how they can interconnect almost. Because you have to be light on your feet and you have to be able to, move, flow freely. It kind of like the Tai Chi you're learning, but it'd be a lot faster if you're in combat. But so we start out in 29, where Meryl finds out that Gwen swapped a book and comes looking for her. She's pissy, and Nesta stands up for...
There is nothing priestessy about this bitch. She's mean.
Yeah, she is.
Like, she's Nesta mean. And yeah, I know she's traumatized and everything, but you cannot be a priestess and be that big of a bitch.
Yeah, but have you... okay, pause.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
There's some bitchy nuns.
It is the nuns. I know. But I just feel like Clotho and Gwen and all these other priestesses are such women of peace and healing. And Meryl, there's no healing there. There's just hate in her heart. She's like the Nesta of the priestesses.
Ed needs to ask her if she has hate in her heart.
Ed needs to sit her down and say, "Hey, Meryl, got hate in her heart."
And she'd probably stop and went, shit.
She will. She'd stop and go, You're right. I need to check that. I'm being hateful.
Mm-hmm.
But no. Well, Nesta's the one who kind of sits her down and is like, you got hate in your heart. I don't know why it's aimed at me.
Yeah.
And I love that scene when Meryl comes and starts trying to yell at them and calls poor Gwen a nymph.
Oh, that makes me angry. And then she kind of like drops like her, legacy of being a descendant from the Lord of the Western Wind. Look, fuck off. Seriously. Nesta's like, who gives a shit?
Like, that doesn't mean shit to me. Like, that's like coming to me and be like, do you know who I am? I was the skinniest kid at fat camp. That's what that says to me.
Yeah. I can't stand the people that do you know who I am? You just set the whole conversation off with me. The fact that you have to put
the kind of asshole who looks at people and says, do you know who I am? That's who you are. I hate those people too.
She calls Gwen a nymph, but then it guides into her backstory where her grandmother was a river nymph who was seduced by a high fae male from the autumn court. That's why she has the red hair. Her mother was rejected by both sides. And then her twin sisters were born after her mother participated in the Great Rite and was chosen by the magic, guys. Chosen by the magic. Guess who that happens to?
So this is where a lot of theories, and I'm really hoping that Sarah J. Messy Moss is going to talk about this in 6, 7, 7.5. And this has kind of been a theory that I think is one of the more solid ones. Some of these theories, y'all, I love y'all, but some of y'all are fucking crazy. Some of y'all come up with some batshit cray. Like, Les will send me clips of some of these theories, and I have to turn it off halfway through because y'all hurt in my head. Like, I cannot with some of these theories. They get a little ridiculous. But I will say this. A lot of people think that there is a strong chance that Tam Tam is Gwen's father. And I have to say that storyline adds up. Yeah. A lot of people think that she might be the product of a Callan mine.
Yeah. I mean, what other night is there a Great Rite where the magic chooses you? And the other fae, they just are all having fun. The magic chooses the one that Tamlin goes with. And that's explained in the first book.
All leading to I am very curious to find out. And Sarah J. Massey Moss is really good at throwing that kind of shit in there. And again, the
Mm.
more that I am reading the Third Crescent City book and going back through Silver Flame, I'm seeing all these crossovers, and I could 120% see that being the case. I feel like that's going to be the case far before this whole Tamlin is really Lucian and glamour.
I don't agree with that. I really don't.
That's one of the more unhinged ones, in my opinion.
Yes, and I can see why people would think that because he does do glamour a lot, but how distraught he is in the novella, how like he acts in three, and Lucian's out there living with Jorian and Vasta,
There,
and
yeah, I
so
don't, there's too many conflicts there. I think
I
it would be a MacGuffin
yes, which
because
doesn't mean Sarah J.
it's
Massey
not,
Moss might not throw it in there.
because yeah. But yeah, no, like that's just to me, that's more one of the unhinged ones. But this one specifically, this is a legit theory in my mind. I am putting if I was a betting lady and I was gonna put bets on some of these theories, this is one I would put money on.
Yes.
I'm hoping that it'll be addressed in
6,
future books.
not 7, so we don't have to keep waiting.
Yeah. But the good news is people are joining. People, the priestesses specifically, they're seeing this growth in these women, and so they're starting to join. And now we've got Rosalind, Deirdre, and Naki showing up to training.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of growing their own group of Valkyries.
And then we go to Nesta decides to try the scrying. And I understand her theory. She can't tell the priestess to face their fear if she can't face hers. I get it. I totally get it.
100%. And I love that. I love that's growth. That is a sign of
Mhm.
such growth. She's sitting there and she's wanting these priestesses to face their fears. And here she is start like crying every time the house pops up with some bones and stones for her to throw.
Mhm.
And she's scared of what could happen. And she's like, I'm a fraud. I'm asking these women to trust me and to take a chance, and I won't do the same.
Yeah.
So major moment of growth for Nesta. And I said in another episode, it takes her a minute to get there, but she always, always, always does what's right.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
just takes her a little longer to get there. And this is one of those moments. So she decides to scry, and she tells Cassian that she wants him there, but she does not want, he says we should have Rhys and Amber. She was like, no,
Yeah.
I just want you there. And she tries it. Nothing happens. She tells Cassian she thinks her power's gone, and he says he can feel it in her bones. He does not think it's gone, but she doesn't feel the connection that she did the last time. And if maybe she does, she's too scared. She's still scared,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know what to do with it.
So
Things
she
have changed. Her power's a little rusty.
yeah.
She hasn't used it since Highburn, and it's been over a year since Highburn.
Mhm.
So I imagine it's kind of like when you start to work out again after taking a long time off. You gotta, that's that first time doing it. It's kind of
Yeah.
that big hump you got to get over.
So that night she goes to sleep. She has a nightmare. The cauldron comes to find her. She starts screaming. Cassie and Az run to her room. She is in silver fire, screaming. And then, okay, so this is the Rhys comes in and he can't get in her mind to calm her. Then he finally does. The
Well,
connection,
Cassian has to almost distract her.
yes,
Cassian sees them battling it out almost. He sees Rhys's dark power coming at her silver flame.
yes,
And something tells him he has just enough siphons on him
Mhm.
to step kind of in between them. And he is able to distract her enough
yes,
and kind of get to her core. Like he's the only one who can break through him.
Mhm.
Tell her, like, Nesta, this is a dream. Calm down, calm down. Just slightly enough that Rhys can go in there and distinguish the flame. And
Yeah.
like he basically can break through her shield enough that Rhys can do the rest. Rhys is able to go into her mind and see what she was dealing with. And it leaves him shaken. And I think he sees her very differently after that.
Very much. But it also like those theories of like their connection. And I've seen those online of like, what does that mean for their connection? Because Rhys is the one that comes and breaks it down. Even though I know Cassian distracted her, but he couldn't stop her.
This time, he couldn't
yes.
stop her.
It's just, I don't know. And then for him to see that she is pure death, like that is, that's her power.
Yeah, Cassian asks Rhys, so what is her power? And Rhys tells her it's pure death. Like, she's basically kind of like a death god. I mean,
Yeah.
the cauldron basically, and I say that because somebody else calls her a death god.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Lanthus? I think maybe Lanthus calls her one. This isn't the first time she's kind of referred to as a death god, and kind of would make sense. She is cauldron made. She seems to be the only one who can take down these really, really horrible beings that are supposed to be immortal. For lack of a better word, she kind of is a death god, which is kind of funny because what does that make Elaine?
See, that's why I had that theory that I think she's life because she creates, she bakes, she gardens. I think she's life and Nesta is death.
Balance.
I kind of like
It's balance.
I want to see how she plays in the next one because especially towards the end of this book, and we won't get into it today because I don't want any spoilers of like what we're going to discuss in the next episode. But her part in the end, I want to see how Elaine, well, even Elaine is mentioned slightly at the end of like how she's going to be playing in their life. So I really do think that Elaine's life and she is death.
I'm very curious. I also have theories about Az and his background now.
Yes, yes. Oh my God.
With all these crossovers. Oh, we can't talk about it. We're just gonna get stuck, and it's gonna be our own Bog of Oorid, if you will.
It will be. Moving on, Rhys tells Cassian after all of this nightmare that the baby has wings. The healer confirmed it, and she's in Illyrian form. And when he was conceived, but she can't shapeshift now.
According to Majo, the healer, shapeshifting could have detrimental effect on the baby, and she could finish out her pregnancy in Illyrian form, but transforming into that would not translate with the baby. And so she is stuck in high fae form, growing a baby with wings that her pelvis cannot accommodate in birth, which will ultimately kill her and the baby. And they've said that attempts to cut out the child, like a cesarean, have never worked in the past.
Right.
Sepsis, I guess. I don't know.
Feyre doesn't know this. It's just mainly Helian's involved, and he comes in riding in on a Pegasi. So
Helian at first, Helian demanded a parade in.
Yes.
And Rhys was like, asshole, just come. And he was like, okay, fine. I'll only come if I can fly in my Pegasus. And Rhys was like, dude, no. Okay, fine. That made me laugh.
And I want you guys to hold on to that kernel. Onto that kernel. Just hold on to that Pegasi kernel.
I caught it. I know exactly what you're thinking because I caught it too. They talked about where they came from.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was the crossover. Okay. It's like, good. Okay. They've decided to keep this a secret from Feyre because Rhys has never seen her so happy and so in love with this baby. He doesn't want to burst her bubble. It's understandable.
I still think she needs to know.
She should know.
If you have complications with your pregnancy, you should know. Okay, and also, as I text you the other morning, is this the fucking 1950s? Why is the healer only telling the male?
She's his high lord. I don't know. I mean, he has spoken before that he and Maja go back. She is his most trusted healer. She has healed everybody he loves from the brink of death, most of them at least. But and so
he's not having a baby.
I don't know. Listen, Leslie, I don't disagree, but I can only tell you why I would think she would approach him. She's only known Feyre for like 5 minutes as far as she's concerned. She's known Rhys for centuries.
So yeah, the secret does kind of change my thoughts on Rhys. Like it does bother me that he doesn't tell her.
Okay, real talk. What if your morning coffee actually did something for you beyond just keeping you alive?
That's exactly why we're obsessed with Javi Coffee. They make protein coffee, so you're hitting the protein goals before you've even put on real pants.
If you're an iced coffee girly, grab their protein coffees. Hot coffee, more your thing? Their protein creamer drops right in, and the flavor's absolutely delicious.
The link is right below this episode. Click it and use our code for 15% off. Go get your protein, babes. Just click the link below.
Just do the link.
Well, it's why we made him a 3 instead of a 2.5.
Yeah. Don't hold secrets, asshole. Like, seriously, she's your mate. And you have a fucking death bond with each other.
Well, Rhys likes to keep secrets. Rhys likes to keep information close to the vest because he doesn't just do it with Feyre, he does it with Nesta too.
Yes, but
He and Amryn vote to keep the weapons a secret from Nesta.
yes.
Um,
And Cassian's like a kid in a candy store with that information.
oh my God, when he fucking tells her, it was just disaster. It's like bomb after bomb after bomb. Just the worst possible. Like it is like when Rachel finds the list
Oh yeah.
Ross makes,
Mm-hmm.
and Ross is trying to justify it to her.
Yep.
He's like, no, but I love you despite all of that. She's like, oh, thank you. Like, yeah, it's very similar in my mind.
And then on top of this, Azrael is warned that they need to summon Lucian to the spring court. Sorry, guys, to monitor Tamblin's reaction when he finds out about the pregnancy. And like seriously, that part kind of irked me because I thought, motherfucker, at this point, like you kind of redeemed yourself in 3, and then you're all crying in 4. If you're gonna act like an asshole while she's preggers.
But I feel like they find out when he doesn't react well when he finds out she's pregnant. Like, I feel like you find out in this last part 3, there's something in my memory tells me, like, when Tamlin finds out she's pregnant, I'm like, why is he surprised?
Right.
Like, she's married.
The majority of people that get married, they want to have kids and they want to have a family. So why is it so shocking that that would happen?
I never understood that. I never understood that. Kind of like how he was so mad when he goes to the High Lord meeting and he sees that they're married. What? Were you shocked, bro? They're mates. I know we don't agree on Rhys keeping this pregnancy risk a secret. What do you think about the fact that Cassian tells Nesta so easily?
Like I said, I think he's like a kid in a candy store. I think he is like, he knows that.
With Nesta, though, because he wouldn't tell anybody else.
Okay, well, this is the thing, though. He almost lets the cat out of the bag that they're mates. How many times? And he holds it in. But yet he tells her all the other juicy secrets. It's like,
well, just like Rhys, he wants her to choose him. Yes. He doesn't want to say, look, you don't have a choice. Because he had the opportunity to be like, well, the reason is because you're my mate. Now, I don't know if you caught this. I'm sure you did. After they finally have sex for the first time, she's like immediately wants him again.
Yeah.
And she's like, how can I want you so much? I just had you. And he kind of gets a smirk on his face. That's literally part of being a mate. Like Feyre and Rhys have that discussion when they finally mate in Wings and Ruin. No, I'm sorry, Mist and Fury. He says, like, she's like, all I want is like every time you get up, I just want to jump on you. And he's like, that's the mating bond. Like, especially he said in the first, couple of years, it's really intense and our scent is going to be obnoxious. And like people will be able to smell us wanting each other, like he tells her it's almost like an addiction.
Yeah.
And then Nesta notices like right after they're done and they're laying there together, she's like, oh my God, I desperately need you with me. Like, what is going on? This is weird. I've never craved it again this fast. So I caught that. I don't know.
Yes.
I was like, oh, you are mates. And he could have told her that. He could have been like, look, it's because we're mates. But he doesn't.
But see, I think that's one of the reasons.
But then he has no problem looking at her and being like, your sister's life is at risk.
Because it doesn't deal with her. But he wants her to know that she can trust him with information and that he feels comfortable and like loves her enough that he wants to share this information and figure out a solution. It's important
for building the trust.
So I can see why he would tell her. And I get that he wants.
It's super important for building trust.
He wants her to pick him, just like the Rhys and Feyre thing. And I get that. And that's why he doesn't tell her. But he is like the worst at keeping secrets. Like, seriously, he is not one that you tell. It's like Joey from Friends. He's like, do I already know? And Chandler's like, yeah.
Or he doesn't want to know because he's tired of all the secrets. Like, very much. If we were going to make Rhys, Cassian, and Az the Friends boys, I'm going to say that, believe it or not, I'm going to say Rhys is Chandler.
I agree. I do agree. Yeah.
I'm going to say that Az is Ross.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that Cassian is Joey. It just makes the most sense.
It does. And maybe Az has to make mini muffins for somebody.
Who doesn't love a mini muffin?
And he might like dinosaurs.
Maybe. But no, I think both sides you can justify why he doesn't tell Feyre, but I think we all agree that Feyre should know.
Yeah.
And I think that the way he's such a spy master, the way he's
Hmm.
always thinking ahead and he's like, hey, listen, we need to also be thinking about how some of these other courts are going to be reacting to this news.
Yeah.
Like he's a natural
Hmm.
politician in
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of not a politician, a campaign manager. Like he's just a natural strategist on what they need to be thinking ahead of and how they need to be preparing for any type of reaction that can be coming down the way.
Right. I can't wait to learn more about him.
I
We have
know.
theories and we want to know. And then after reading the bonus chapter, I really have more
Crescent
theories.
City has me completely convinced where he comes from.
Yeah. So next, Nesta tries scrying again at the river house, and she's holding Cassian's hand and grounding herself. This is when she goes kind of like ice cold. Cassian calls her name, can't get through, and then
Well, and this time she's also scrying with the whole she's got a whole freaking audience. Everybody's there.
yes,
Rhys is there, Feyre's there, Amren's there. Like this is not like just her and Cassian alone in a room. I want you guys to know that because when she goes into this haze, I guess, when she gets locked in and her eyes go vacant, the room goes cold, she goes cold, nobody can get her out of it. Rhys can't get through her shields. It takes Cassian like kind of going up to her and straight up being like, hey, you find this object we're looking for, you do this, then we can play. He says that in
hmm
front of everybody. He's like, then we can play. And he kisses her. And that kind of snaps her out of it. And I love how everybody's just like, all right, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
exactly.
Did you notice that? How there
Hmm.
was no anybody see that?
Yeah.
Are we just going to act like they didn't just kiss? Kind of like Frisky and Chad.
Nobody saw that murder. Nobody saw, and
And
nobody
then we didn't talk
questioned.
about it ever again. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. So yeah, that's like the Frisky and Chad moment of Akatar. Nobody's going to talk about the fact that they just said play together. What? Cassian had kind of told Nesta, "You do the scrying, and we're going to consummate this relationship," and
Right.
she's not mad about it.
And then it reveals that the mask is in the bog. It kind of goes into like, okay, this is where we need to go as Cass and Nesta head out that way, and they go to the bog.
It's in the
Uh,
middle, over where the Weaver's cottage is, in that special area we talked about. That's kind of lawless,
mhm,
but has a lot of bad things living in it,
right.
and they can't leave that area. But if you venture in, that's on you.
Cassian mentions about like kelpies that used to be
Mhm.
here hundreds of years
They kind of give a
ago.
whole history of the bog and what lives
Yes.
there. And one of those things are kelpies, and they sound as gross as they are.
Az is gone, and then Cassian's like flying with Nesta, basically, and in the bog. And then she's basically like, he needs to go get to Az. And she's like, just put me somewhere. Like,
Right.
seriously.
So while they're flying, Az sees something and he goes to check it out. And it turns out, well, just a reminder, if we haven't mentioned it this episode, Eris has been missing some Autumn Court soldiers. They have been
Mhm.
missing for a while. They were out on patrol. He had mentioned they were acting odd before they left.
Mhm.
But then they all disappeared, and it's several of them. It's a good couple hundred, I think they say, that are missing.
Yes.
Um, Soldiers have just disappeared. They have no
Mhm.
clue where they are. And what Az finds on the ground is about 2 dozen of those soldiers.
Mhm.
And there's something not right in their eyes. They're clearly being controlled by something. And he's being ambushed. They shot him with an ash arrow
Mhm.
and he's being ambushed. And so Cassian has to very quickly find a place to put Nesta down. And the best place he can find is a high tree on a patch of grass
Mhm.
and lands in this marsh,
Yeah.
basically. And he tells Nesta to wait and he takes off to go after Az. He's gone for maybe 30.
And she starts to worry, and then she gets out of the tree and decides she's going to swim across the bog where this creature emerges from the water and she loses all bodily functions. She ends up like peeing on herself.
So the thing about kelpies is they get off on fear.
Yeah.
And the kelpies, they can breathe into you and give you air, so they can force you to live underwater.
Yeah.
And they like to slowly, basically, they sexually assault you, and then they slowly torture you and eat off you until you die. Like it's pretty gruesome what they do. They're not good people.
They don't procreate though, because that was a weird topic that they talk about. That like they're
odd creatures.
Yes, but I also want to know how they are connected to the Mer people
I
in
know.
Crescent City. So guys,
I have a lot of
keep that
questions.
keep that kernel, because I want to see a family tree, because they both are like connected to the water god, and so like
Mhm.
as
I
as
think they're all from the same planet
so this is all going to have to come in
or universe.
House of Many Waters. Well, we will dive in and be drowning with theories.
Nesta gets dragged underwater by this kelpie. And as she's being dragged underwater, she sees all these skeletons of all these victims from the kelpie that the kelpie has killed over the centuries. And it's dragging her down. It keeps assaulting her mouth, is kind of the way she puts it, to give her breath.
Yes,
And
but
she understands that's what it's doing, but it's like shoves its tongue in her mouth. And she describes it as like slithery and like snake-like.
See, I'm thinking it's like a piece of seaweed that moves. That's what.
I mean, kind of, but like the way she describes it, it sounds like a snake tongue, like
Yeah.
well, yucky. So basically, keeps raping the poor girl's mouth, but giving her air. And as she's fighting it, she grabs at one of her daggers because she's weaponized to the hilt.
Yeah.
Grabs the dagger and slices it, but it is able in this dark, dark swamp water to disarm her in a matter of seconds and get rid of all of her weapons. So she's completely weaponless, and she's fighting as hard as she can. And then something shiny catches her attention.
It's the mask. So she grabs it and she shoves it on her face, and which
she reaches out and it goes to her.
Well, and Amryn had
because
already
light calls to light, man.
Amryn has already warned that whoever puts this on their face, like they're not taking it off. It's gonna like melt their body, basically.
The mask is not supposed to come off. If it is put on, it is not supposed to come off. In the past, the only way to get it off is basically to behead the person who is wearing it.
Yes.
That's the price for being able to control the dead, which is what the mask does. It grants you the ability to control the dead. So she shoves it on her face and is able to command an army of all these dead beings.
And so she breaks away from the kelpie. She's got the dead beings that are rising from the bog with her as she's wearing the mask. And she's like, has the kelpie's severed head. She takes off the mask, the dead collapse, and she goes unconscious.
Well, Cassian, and you're totally left out the fact that Cassian and Az have come back from fighting
they're standing
to this group of dead skeleton warriors, all bowing before Nesta, who is standing on the bog holding a head with the mask on her face.
And they're like, what the fuck happened while we were gone?
Cassian's like, 30 minutes, Nesta. I was gone 30 minutes. What the fuck? So she takes off the mask with no problem. She just says, I want to take you off now. And the mask says, okay. And she just pulls it right off and collapses right there into Cassian's arms. And then wakes up at the river house.
Yes. Cassian's like, what the fuck did you do? They're all telling her how, like, and Amryn goes into more of like, the mask can't be removed, but yes, you did it. And then
Amryn asks her, she's like, how did you take that mask off? Nobody's ever been able to take it off before. She says it in her, girl, how did you take that mask off? Girl. I hate that Amryn does. That drives me crazy. I understand that that's just like how she talks, but just use their name, dude. Use their name. I don't know. But she says, girl, how did you take that off? You shouldn't have. Nobody else has been able to.
Yeah.
And Nesta says, I just asked.
Yeah.
So you're like, wow, nobody has thought to be like, hey, can I take you off? Please.
Well, and then they start talking about the ancient dialect that the Kelpie was speaking, and it's like 15,000 years old, and that Kelpies were made. And he told her that he was going to take her as his bride, and she understood that. And like that almost.
Well, Amryn translated it. Rhys read her mind, and Amryn said, he said this. And he basically said, like, I will take you for my bride and I will really enjoy killing you. Like, it wasn't really romantic. It wasn't great speech, but it was an ancient speech. But yeah, he was going to kind of, it's weird the way all of these like ancient and evil beings, like they meet Nesta and they want to kill her, but they also want her for their bride.
Do they get something
That's
special
their
for
worst
having her
problem. No,
title?
just kidding.
Do they get something for having her title? Like,
Maybe they think if they put their peen in her, they'll get some of her silver flame power. I don't know.
maybe, maybe.
I
So then
don't know.
after all of this, Cassian brings her some food and she's in the bath, which prior to that, she'd already given him a hard time of like, you're not having sex with me because you look like you've been in a bar fight and I'm not doing you until you look better.
Yeah, like he comes in to bring her food, but she's in the bath and she sits up and he can see her nips through her hair, which
Yeah.
isn't gonna help any dude.
No.
Is it Ron White who does that thing? He's like, doesn't matter what a woman looks like. If she says you want to see my boobs, I'm gonna say yeah. Men just like boobs. They just want to see boobs. But her hair is down and she basically walks to him and says,
Yeah.
you kind of made a promise. Are we going to do this? And he's like, yeah, we are. But she could see in his eyes that there is more to this. And she says, this has to be just sex. This cannot be more than that.
Yeah.
Just sex, nothing else. And he says, heard, they have sex.
Which
They
they say
have really great sex.
and how long do they think they can fool themselves and just say it's just sex? It's not.
Taylor's holds his time. I never had a friend with benefit like that. Like I never did that. I know people who have, and I don't think it ever really worked. Somebody is going to get feelings.
Yeah.
And it's not always the girl.
No.
It's not always the girl. I think saying just sex, for both of them, it's denial. I think that because they're mates, and this is what Nesta doesn't understand. They're mates, and so that's her carnal urge is to be with him. Like, and she's having a hard time denying that urge to be intimate with him.
Yeah.
To protect her heart, she tells him it can't be more than that because she already almost lost him once, and she thought it would kill her.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to is her fear of the fact that she thinks everything she touched turns to shit. And she doesn't want to put that ick on him.
Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to. Of course, he doesn't understand that.
So next we take Cassian and Nesta and they go to a blacksmith, which I think this is so funny because I think you forget like what time era they're in until like they bring up these little like moments.
Okay, so it's very Napoleon Dynamite. You remember Napoleon Dynamite and how vague it was about the time and how you weren't sure if it was the 80s, the early 90s, the late 90s. Like you weren't sure what time span. Very similar with these books. Because yes, they have to go to blacksmith. They don't have cell phones. They don't have television.
Yeah.
But they have really awesome indoor plumbing. They have soup in a can. They have their dress isn't always like the way they describe the way Rhys dresses. Like I picture very modern black dress shirts with a black blazer and black slacks. Like, and sometimes like when in the infamous, was it chapter 50, whatever, in Mist and Fury, where they finally mate, she's wearing like an oversized sweater and leggings, which is not, I mean, but then when they dress for balls and stuff and, you know, their gowns can be very Victorian looking. So it's very modern in some ways, not in others.
Yes.
It's very vague in what kind of a time area we're looking at. But you're right, there is a blacksmith. You don't go to the, you know, Randy's pawn and gun shop to get your weapons here. You actually have to go to a blacksmith.
So she gets to see how they're made, and then she watches, and then the blacksmith lets her hammer a dagger, a sword, and a great sword. And then training she goes to, she punches through a blanket-wrapped tree trunk, and it burns with her power from the inside out. Cassian touches it, and it dissolves to cinders.
Lucian has witnessed all this.
Yeah.
Lucian came to that witness that day, and he sees that and looks at Cassian and is like, yeah, good luck with that.
Hope that hadn't happened when you guys are having fun together. Anyway.
Yeah. Lucian's like, listen, if that's your mate, don't piss her the fuck off.
So then
Yeah.
the blacksmith shows back up and talks to
But he
Rhys.
goes to Rhys.
Yes.
He doesn't show, he goes straight to Rhys's house and he's freaked out. He is
Yeah.
massively freaked out.
And they're not just weapons anymore. They're a new trove that she has welded into these weapons. So Rhys calls Cassian, Amryn, and Az and tells them about this. And no one's made magic swords in like 10,000 years. Gwydion is the one that was dipped into the cauldron. She did it by just touching the metal. So
So yeah, Amryn is freaked. Honestly, the guys are fascinated. Amryn is terrified.
Yes.
Amryn says this sword needs to be treated, all three of these things need to be treated as a new dead trove. They are very powerful. Leave them in their sheath. And that Nesta could create an arsenal if she really wanted to. This is dangerous and we don't need to tell her.
Yes.
Rhys agrees. Cassian immediately, this is so important, y'all. Cassian's like, no. I cannot and will not keep this a secret from her. She needs to know about this.
Exactly.
Az gets his brothers back. Az, he's been there witnessing all the training and Nesta's growth. So Az has a little bit more faith in Nesta. And I think maybe even he understands her better than Cass does a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of the way she works. And he says the same thing. He says, guys, you are not going to build up any trust with her if she finds out you keep this from her. You have got to tell her about this.
Yeah.
And so then it's kind of 2 versus 2. Rhys, being Rhys, says, you know what? Feyre's on her way back soon. We'll talk to her when she gets here. She's going to be the deciding factor. And guess what, guys? Of course, Feyre says, we need to tell her. This does not need to be kept from her. We're trying to build trust with her, guys. We don't need to keep secrets from her. And she needs to know about this because she did this unwittingly. What else is she going to be able to do unwittingly? Like she didn't mean to create this when she created it. She just wanted to learn how to make weapons so she could respect the weapon. That's all.
And then Amryn revealing that like Amarantha found a great sword and it wouldn't come to her hand. So she threw it into the sea and it was called Nerbin. I think that's an interesting kernel. Like and then to tell Rhys, Amryn goes to tell Rhys that he could be High King if he had all 3 of these.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing that Amryn doesn't. So I honestly, at first I thought this was a test on Amryn's part.
Right.
Because she says, you could be High King. You could control them all. You could have everybody, all 7 courts under one roof. Wouldn't that be great?
Right.
Rhys is immediately like, no. Don't want that power. Don't want that power. Don't want that power. But Az and Cass kind of see the benefit in it.
But
it's actually funny because they're all for him being High King.
Yeah.
And Rhys is like, okay, try and get that past Feyre. And Amryn actually says, I think Feyre would understand.
I don't think he wants kings again, though. This is the thing. He likes the High Lords.
No.
He likes how it's split up into 7, in which, why is it only 7? That's another question I have. Like, why is there only 7?
Well, there was 8.
I know, but why have it? We'll get there.
This is when we're going to be crossing over, Les. You can't be throwing these out or we're going to start crossing over.
I think it's because he doesn't want to rule over everybody. He wants everybody to have their own. That's why he doesn't rule over the Court of Nightmares. He could come in and be like,
he believes in democracy.
Here, you've had enough. Fuck off. I'm in charge again.
Right. He wants to be a part of a democracy and not a dictatorship.
Yes.
And he sees having a High King as a dictator. Now, for Amryn, the last High King was actually a pretty good guy. And so for her, she sees a lot of that in Rhys. She thinks it would be great if Rhys did it. And I think, honestly, Amryn only is suggesting it not because she's his second and it would be a very high power move for her, but it's literally because she knows that he would do what's right.
Right.
And he wouldn't go power hungry. And Az and Cass are even like, hey, I think Callias and Helion and Thesan and I think even Tarquin would all pledge allegiance to you. I think that would be fine. They were like, Tamlin, we can take care of. And Baron, same. Like they're like, get rid of Baron, put in Nearest, he'll pledge. Like they are already making these plans. And Rhys is like, guys, I'm trying to save my mate's life at this point. That's all I fucking care about.
Right.
Like, I really do not need more on my plate. And he honestly finally says, drop it. We're not going to talk about that anymore. Like he very much puts a no on it. But I think what you really need to take from this, and the most important thing, isn't the High King thing. It's the fact that they took a vote on Nesta without her being there.
Yeah.
They took a vote on something she should know without her being there. And that's something you need to remember, because that vote, what they just did, is going to lead to Nesta doing what she does.
So we bounce back, and Cassian is teaching the Valkyries their methods. And I love how he asks Emery, like, I want to know all these methods of like the Valkyrie training. And so they start doing this. And then
Gwen gives them a manuscript of what the Valkyries trained, because they had decided that they want to kind of create their own unit of Valkyries, but they're going to mix Illyrian training with the Valkyrie training to kind of form their own type of Valkyrie. It's really cool, actually. But Cassian is interested. He enjoys this stuff. And so he wants to know more about the fighting and training on the Valkyrie side of it all. And also so that when he is training them and they're bitching about it, he can say, I did it too, which absolutely happens in training. They're like, if you think this is so easy, you do it. And he was like, I was doing it this morning at sunrise. So, because I knew you would say that. So there.
So then
not
Cassian,
like first time as general.
Cassian being the kid in a candy store, he really is a kid at heart. Like, I swear to God, he's like, what would you name your sword?
It's the most Joey of all things. Like, he's not discreet. Discretion is not Cassian's strong suit. There is a reason Az is the spy.
Yeah.
Out of the two.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. He's got them learning these Valkyrie methods, and as they're cooling down, he asks Nesta very casually, so what would you name a sword?
And he keeps pushing it, though, because she's like, I don't know. And he's like, no, what would you name it? What would you name it? And she's like, why do you keep asking me, asshole? Like,
well, but wait, so Emery and Gwen are all in on this. They're like, ooh, that's a fun game. Let's play.
Right.
And Gwen's like, I'd name mine Silver Majesty, because apparently Gwen isn't killing people with her sword. She thinks it's a horse she's going to ride into sunset.
Well, they do that in Lights Out, but
Emery is like, oh, that's a terrible name. And Gwen's like, okay, well, what would you name yours? And Emery goes, I don't know, something like Foe Killer or something. Yeah. And Gwen's like, well, that's not better. And then they look at Nesta and they're like, which one's worse? And she's like, oh, Silver Majesty is terrible, terrible. And I think we can all agree on that. That was just a horrible name, Gwen. You're not naming a horse, you're naming a sword. Let's maybe think about that.
Yeah.
This isn't Black Beauty. This is a sword. It's going to kill someone.
So
he keeps going on Nesta, though. But okay, so what would you do? What would you? And Nesta's like, I don't fucking know. Why won't you drop it?
Yes.
And so Cassian's like, well, remember when you made that stuff with the blacksmith? Turns out you created some pretty important shit.
It's like,
and as he's telling her about it, he says something, and she says, well, how much of my power is in it? And he's like, we're not sure. And she goes, well, what do you mean we're not sure?
And she's like, how many people know about this?
Who knows about this? And he was like, well, Az, Rhys, Amryn knows. Feyre. And she's like, okay, how long have you known? And he doesn't really answer her.
Yeah.
Because it's not that he's waited a super long time to tell her, but he didn't tell her right away either, because he wanted to find the right way to tell her. And somehow he ends up letting it slip that they took a vote on how they should tell her, and it's the vote that sets her off.
And completely understood. Like, I would be so furious at that point, but that fury, it leads
she doesn't know what to do with it. So she says, who voted against me, though? And he kind of avoids it for a minute. She goes, who voted against me? Because he says, well, as Feyre and I all said yes, and she was like, so who said no?
It's like, Cassian, just stop. You're not helping. Shut up. Yeah. Just shut up.
And he goes, Rhys, which she's not really surprised.
Yeah.
And Amryn. And it was the Amryn that upset her.
Because she thought she was her friend, like a good friend. That
she thought Amryn would at least understand and have her back.
Well, and because she has told her so many things that Amryn has not told the others. When she voted against her, that was, as my little old ladies say at the center, it was a slap in the face. I can see.
Yes. Yeah. So she gets mad, guys, and Cass goes to like let her cool off. He thinks giving her some time alone is going to be good. As soon as she realizes he's left, she takes off, guys. She goes to the steps. And y'all, her fire in her heart, her hate in her heart is so strong, it gets her down all 10,000 steps. And before she knows it, she is bursting into Valerius through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes straight to Amren's apartment.
Yep.
Where she walks in on him 100% in the middle of having sex with Varian.
I don't care what you're doing. Get off of him now. We're going to have a combo.
100%. She's like, get up and put on your clothes. We're talking. So Amren gets up and throws on one of Varian's shirts, and Varian gets up and puts on some pants. So Nesta looks at Varian as he's putting on his pants and goes, get out. And Amren's like, And Varian's like, oh, I'm not leaving until she tells me I can.
Yeah.
And Nesta sees it, like, and immediately gets a little jealous, like this loyalty that Varian has to Amren, and that he wasn't leaving until Amren tells him he can go. And Amren just nods at him and he takes off. And Nesta knows now she's on borrowed time, because there's no telling if he's going to Rhys, if he's going to Feyre, if he's going to Az, if he's going to find Cassie. He's going to find someone.
Yeah.
So she's on borrowed time. She yells at Nesta, or Amren, excuse me. She yells at her, how could you vote against me? How could you vote against me? And Amren tells her, look, how can we trust you?
Yeah.
Do you understand what kind of a power you have? You stop trying. I told, and then that's when you kind of find out what really happened between them and broke up their friendship over the summer at a summer solstice party. They had a big blow up because Amren told her, you have got to control these powers. You need to keep working with them. And Nesta turned her back on her and was like, I'm not going to.
Right.
To Amren, that was just like, I'm over it. I'm done. She, kind of tells Nesta, like, how are we supposed to trust you? You've been awful. Like, I don't understand why you're so surprised that I didn't think you should know about this. As they're arguing, Feyre comes in to break it up.
And when she does that, Nesta goes, well, you didn't tell me about this, but guess what, Feyre? You don't know that your baby's got wings, and they've been all hiding it from you.
Well, it's really interesting the way that comes up, because Feyre orders Nesta, come with me back to the, let's go. We're going. And Feyre also, guys, is covered in paint. Like, Varian found her at her studio.
Yeah.
And so she looks at her and says, come on, let's go back to the river house and we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, don't be mad at Cassie. And Nesta looks at her and goes, I'm not mad at Cassie.
Yeah.
I'm mad at Amren. And, she's like, Nesta, come with me back to the river house. We'll talk about this. We'll get this all out. And she looks at Amren and says, Amren, and then realizes she was kind of about to order her. And she goes, you just stay here. Okay. And that triggers Nesta. Nesta's like, she has no power and you are in charge of her. Order her to do something. And she looks at her and goes, it's not about ordering her. It's about respect. And something about using that word and saying, I have respect for her and she has respect for me. That triggers Nesta. And Nesta looks at her and goes, oh, does she respect you? Does your mate respect you? Did you know that they're keeping this big secret from you? And as she's saying, like, oh, did you know? Amren's going, you shut the fuck up, Nesta. You shut the fuck up right now. Nesta, don't you say another goddamn word. Like, Amren is losing it. And Feyre's like, no. What's going on? And that's when Nesta tells her, they respect you so much that they won't tell you that babe you're carrying is going to kill you. And tells her everything. And Feyre realizes.
Is the part, it breaks me, though, because it's not that she's going to die.
It's the baby.
It's the baby's not going to go and carry their legacy.
And then that's what hits Nesta when she thinks about it later, is in that moment, she never felt an ounce of the love from her mother that Feyre already feels for this baby. And that is her immediate regret. Like, the minute the words come out of her mouth and she sees the devastation on Feyre, she regrets it. There's just a fire now that Nesta has set. Like, if you will, we've talked about it before. Nesta is the trash panda who has come along to this big dumpster and set that shit up.
So she's the villain at this time, but she's also the truth teller. And so she it's good that it's out, because at least now Feyre can process this and not be in the middle of labor processing this.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit of both. I think you're right. Because we all agree, every single woman, there's not one woman on this platform or any platform that talks about this that says, no, it's okay that Feyre didn't. Every single woman believes in that autonomy and that you have a right to know what's going on with your pregnancy. I think that because of that, it does make her a hero, but it's just the way with which she tells her. She's so hateful about it and uses it as a weapon. And that's really what makes her the bad guy. Because she could have sat her down and been like, listen, this has been heavy on my heart. I really think you have a right to know, and tell her gently. But she used it as a weapon and threw it in her face. As not just this is what you're going through, but this is a reason why you shouldn't trust all these people you respect and love so much.
It's a
and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No.
Feyre doesn't feel that way. Is she upset? Of course she's upset, but she's also very understanding about why. And Rhys's whole thing was he was going to tell her. He wasn't ever going to not tell her. He wasn't going to wait till she was in labor to be like, yes, you're about to die. We're both about to die.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
He wanted a solution.
He was hoping he would be able to present her with a solution. And can I tell you, if you've worked in the real world, there are a lot of bosses out there that hate when people bring them problems without a solution. I had one boss that was big on, if you have a problem, bring me the problem and a solution. Don't just bring me a problem. I kind of think that's one of these situations where Rhys wanted to be able to present her with the problem and immediately say, but don't worry, this is how we're going to fix this.
Right.
It just Nesta got to her before he could.
Need help running your business? Sometimes We Get You Media is your AI guru hub for everything. Design, content, marketing, brand strategy, meeting transcriptions, file organization, social media, you name it, AI can help. Stop juggling a dozen tasks. Streamline your entire operations in one place. Visit www.sometimeswegetyou.com. That's www.sometimeswegetyou.com. Or email info@sometimeswegetyou.com. Sometimes We Get You Media, AI-powered solutions for modern businesses.
And so Rhys is pissed at this point.
Rhys's exact words to Cassian were, get Nesta, or he looks at Cassie, so I guess Feyre contacts him via their little mental cell phone and is like, hey, so I just had a fun talk with Nesta, and kind of shows him what happened. And Cassian knows. He sees, because he's with Rhys, he's explaining what happened. He's like, I can't find Nesta. I figured she would be here. And he's like, I don't know where she is. And as he's having this conversation, Rhys's face goes blank and he knows he's talking to Feyre. And by the tenseness in Rhys's face and jaw, he's like, son of a bitch. And he's about to leave and walk out. And as he's about to walk out the door, Rhys calls him and says, turns out Nesta felt it was appropriate to go ahead and tell Feyre about the risk the pregnancy is presenting. You need to get her the fuck out of the Velaris before I kill her. Literally exact words.
And which Cassian's like, heard. And I'm gonna go take her on a hike and camping, which she's gonna hate, and that'll please Rhys a little bit more than she's not here.
We're gonna go on a hiking trip. Heard. We'll be gone for a week.
So Cassian takes her on this trip out of the city. They camp, they hike. She hates it.
She spends 5 days not saying a word. She is completely devastated by what she has done at this point, guys. She is ridden with guilt and feels that she doesn't deserve to be heard, listened to, loved, any of it. And Cass is treating her pretty heavy gloves at this point. He's not being kind to her. He's not treating her with compassion. He's treating her as a general.
Yeah.
He wants to be there, but he knows right now she has to get there on her own.
And he's like, okay, we just got to keep going. You just, you know what, we took our stop. We're going to move on. And like her bones are aching. Her muscles hurt. Like she doesn't know how much longer she can keep going. Her body is just like dying.
She even passes out at one point because she's too stubborn to stop and ask for water. But it's after 5 days of hiking in the dead silence that they get to this lake that Cassian was wanting to get to. I don't know if this lake has like magical powers or what, but it's like the therapy trauma center.
Yeah.
For Prythian. Because just upon seeing this lake in this area, Nesta is overcome and she finally just lets it all out and explains everything about how she thinks she's responsible for her father's death and she just let him die.
And she
How
should have
she
done
let
more.
Feyre
Like,
down.
yeah.
How she's always known she could have done more, but out of her stubborn pride, she wouldn't and couldn't. And how she doesn't deserve to be loved and she doesn't deserve any good things in life.
She can't listen to fires because the cracking sound makes her think of her father's neck breaking.
And that's
all
when
of
she
this.
explains to him why she can't be near a fire. She has kept that to herself this whole time.
Yeah.
Nobody has figured it out. And Cassian feels horrible because he's been lighting a fire every fucking night.
It's like I was freaking
like making her
cold.
sleep by it. Yeah. He was like, well, shit. Like he felt really bad. But during this time, during that 5-day hike, he has a conversation with Feyre too. They have one of their mental conversations.
Yeah.
And Feyre tells him, I'm not mad at Nesta at all. I'm thankful she told me.
Right.
I understand why she was hurt. Feyre's like the most understanding, sweet person in the world at this point because she could be mad at Nesta, but she's not. She's not even mad at any of them. She's more worried about everything at this point. She's not angry. She just wants Nesta to be okay. She's worried. She even says that Rhys overreacted and she's angry with them, but she'll get over it. And that she doesn't want Nesta hiding, that Nesta can come back. Rhys won't kill her. And he says, Nesta needs time away. We're going to take some time away and we're going to let things cool off and then we'll come back. And she even says, Rhys says, thank you.
She almost this is before she breaks down too.
Yes.
Then once
this is like on their first night away.
Yeah.
After everything happens. And
then after she does break down, Cassian explains to her, it's not your fault. You couldn't have done anything. You couldn't have fixed this. You're holding on to this grief and then that she can get through this. And then that's when that in my mind is when the whole mating bond like snaps into place. Even though I know it's later on, I feel like Nesta knows it's there.
Well, honestly, I think that bond already snapped into place. It's just she won't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
He is fully ready to acknowledge it. He is like standing at the end of the aisle, just patiently waiting for her to get there.
And he tells her she can fight it. She's going to face it. She's going to embrace it. And she realizes that Cassian's going to hold her hand through the whole way.
He is not going to leave her. And that's a really important moment for her.
After this moment. It's a sad moment. Like, it's just like, it's like that when your favorite two characters finally kiss and like, just, they accept it.
It's a beautiful moment. Cassian's accepting her for everything she is, and she is finally letting him. It's actually, there's a lot of beautiful moments in that. And after this, he sees something in her that tells her she's ready, and he hands her his sword. And he tells her, because she hasn't been allowed to handle a weapon yet, even though she's forged some, and she is somewhat practiced the movements, she hasn't wielded a weapon. And so he hands her his sword, and has her walk through it. And just the way she's able to immediately and perfectly walk through those steps, the sword, he tells him everything, like about how ready she is. It's a really beautiful moment for him. And he tells her, again, keep going. And so they spend the next 2 days practicing with weapons and screwing all around the lake, basically.
Yeah.
In the water, on the water, over a boulder. She talks about it all.
Yeah.
They do it everywhere. They dirty up that lake. This whole moment is so important in the series because it's also something that Sarah J. Maas talked about in Call Her Daddy. Yeah. She talked about how she was on a hike at one point and had this during a not great point in her life. And it was just like this, her own personal come to Jesus moment, and how she had her own huge awakening on a mountain. And that's what inspired Nesta's ultimate breakdown, and how that's what led to Nesta's big redemption arc. Just being able to admit she knows she had done wrong by her family was really important for her character's growth. The first step to admitting you have a problem or fixing a problem is admitting you have one. And that was kind of what she did in that moment.
Exactly. I don't know. It's a beautiful transition, like in my opinion. I think she wrote that really well.
She did.
And
listen, that first chapter after all that cracks me up because it's immediately Emery being like, you screwed him, didn't you? You did it. You had sex. And Gwen is like, I'm sorry, what? And Nesta's like, how did you know? It's really funny.
It
It's a
is.
true girl's girl moment. Like they're
Yes.
working out on one end and immediately and Gwen and like Emery's not quiet about it. She's like, oh, you fucked him. And like Cassian across, like directing other priestesses, kind of looks over at them like, come on now, like Jesus. It's really funny. It's a really funny moment, actually. And sweet, innocent Gwen is
Yeah.
like grabbing at her pearls. Like, you what? Gwen is obsessed. There's a thing, in order to be a true Valkyrie, you have to be able to cut a ribbon.
Yes.
And it's not like a tied tight ribbon, it's a dangling ribbon hanging and blowing in the wind. And you have to be clever enough with a sword to be able to slice it.
Yes.
And it's something that Cassian can do with no problem. But it's basically the ultimate way of knowing if you are a true Valkyrie or not.
Yeah.
It's like that final test to getting their black belt.
And they keep trying multiple training sessions to do this.
Oh yeah, they're training constantly.
Yeah.
For 3 hours a day now. They're upping it more and more. They're enjoying it, which is important.
And then Nesta starts to, it's like she accepts her newfound friends and starts to live her life. And she asks to go to the evening priestess service because she misses music.
And Gwen's been inviting her for a while, but there's something about this conversation. And Gwen tells her, you really should come to one of our services. They're so beautiful. And the way she describes it, I want to go. I mean, it sounds amazing. It's in like this underwater cavern. And it's just like acoustically perfect. And it's just like, it sounds absolutely heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go there and be a part of this service. And that's when Nesta, who's been very scared of telling anything about her previous behaviors to Gwen, she's just convinced the minute Gwen or Emery know that she was so awful before that they won't want anything to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
She is just so afraid that they will not accept her, scars and all. And she explains to Gwen how much she loved music and how it speaks to her. And it kind of opens up and explains to her about her past and her bad behaviors. And Gwen looks at her and holds her hand and says, I see you. I get you. I understand you. And that's not who you are. And it's such a sweet and beautiful moment for their friendship. Gwen says, come to this service. I think you'll enjoy it. And so Nesta takes her up on it. And this service is more important than she could have ever anticipated.
So she listens to Gwen sing and she falls into a vision. She sees a carved gate, a dark path, a cavern, carved black rock, and symbols. And on the floor is the golden and harp.
And she realizes that, kind of like how in Wings and Ruin, how the cauldron, when Feyre touched it, took her outside of her body and traveled her to another place, like her spirit. The same thing is happening to Nesta. The music has caused her to scry within herself. It's very interesting what happens, but this music is so touching to her. It takes her to the prison, she realizes.
Mm-hmm.
And she finds the harp and she realizes that the harp is there. We also should have mentioned that they figured out that Eris's soldiers, they are able to keep 2 of them. And they realize that they aren't possessed, but instead their minds are being controlled by the crown, which is in Briallen's hands.
Yes.
So out of the dead trove, Briallen has gotten her hand on one thing, and that is the crown, which can control any mind that is within a certain distance.
So she's close somewhere.
And she's close by, but not close enough. The mask has been found by Nesta at this point. So at this point, they know they need to get to the harp before Briallen does. And Nesta realizes in this vision, the harp has been under the prison this whole time. And it speaks to her in this vision. And somehow she plays it and it opens a pathway to another space and time.
Mm-hmm.
And Nesta sees a vision of fairies trying to save their children from another world and trying to pass them through into the mountain, into this room. But they aren't able to. And they're desperate. And it is really bothersome to Nesta. Put a pin in that, guys, because when we talk Crescent City, we're going to blow your minds.
Yep.
Put a pin in that. She also realizes she's just activated the motherfucker.
And the
if it can call to her, it's going to be able to call to Briallen because Briallen's got the crown.
But the part is that like Gwen singing, unlocking this in her.
Mhm.
Like I really,
Bones, it's like her own scrying. Like it's so, that connection is just so touching.
but what does this mean for Gwen's story? That
I think I'm very excited to find out exactly what Gwen's powers are and what she can do.
well, especially being like what quarter autumn court, half spring.
Potentially half spring and half quarter nymph. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very interesting.
it is.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see what she does with Gwen's character.
So
Um,
Rhys, after they have the harp, he wants to see what happens when they bring the sword and the harp together.
so he takes the shields down. That's important. He removes the shields from the prison. He had kind of amped them up because he and Feyre were concerned that now that Bayron is obviously in an alliance with Briallen, that he
Mhm.
might try to free the beings from the prison like they had done during the war for the Bone Carver.
Yeah.
Fair. It was a concern. So he warded up the prison even more, but he said, we'll take the shields down for a day so you guys can go in and get the harp and get out.
Hmm.
So put a pin in that because that's important. He also says, let's use the sword. And I thought this was interesting. Cass, who doesn't really question Rhys a lot, looks at him and says, this isn't time for one of your, because Rhys says to him, I want to see what happens if Nesta uses one of these. And Cass is like, this isn't time for one of your experiments going into the prison. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And Rhys says, then let's hope she doesn't have to use it. Spoiler alert, she does.
So Nesta
So,
leads Cassian into this hidden chamber in the prison.
and he's shocked. He's
Yeah.
known all about the prison. He has never even known that there's this whole other core secret corridor there.
Just wait till
He had no
Crescent City,
clue.
guys. Wait
And
till
the
Crescent
corridor is
City.
right. Crescent City. And the corridor is directly across from a prison cell that holds something called Lanthus.
She touches the harp, and there's this vision of Briallen on the throne, wearing the crown, and like she knows she has the harp. Briallen knows she has the harp now, basically, because they're all connected.
Okay,
And
so put a pin in that or pause that real quick because you guys, you Harry Potter fans out there, you remember how just saying Voldemort was able to enchant his name so that if you just said the name Voldemort, it like
no one speaks that name.
yeah, he was able to basically make it so that if you said Voldemort, it told him where you were.
Mhm.
It like enchanted. That's why everybody would call him he who must not be named.
Yeah.
And he specifically in the very last book uses that to track Harry Potter because Harry Potter is one of the only people who has no problem saying Voldemort.
Right.
Harry's the one who's like, you guys put the fear in the name. Like, so there you go.
Yeah.
And because he's not afraid to say Voldemort, and he's one of the few who's not afraid to say it, Voldemort's able to enchant his name and be able to keep up with Harry where Harry's at.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing here. When one thing's touched, the other thing's touched, they're going to automatically connect. And Briallen is basically almost like to cell phone, like she zooms in. Hi there. I see you found the harp. Thanks for telling me where it's at.
And I know you have friends and they're named Emery and Gwen, and you're a fool for touching that because I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just opening that door automatically told her about Gwen and Emery, like if she was able to invade Nesta's mind that easily. Because Nesta's mind is not one that's easily invaded, guys. You got to remember, like even Tamlin couldn't glamour her.
I think it's the connection of the troves that, like, I think it can.
I think so too. So that's got to be what it is because most people without Nesta's permission cannot get into her brain.
Yeah.
Nesta's just a strong-minded person.
So Nesta plucks the string and the ward's open and Cassian gets in and she tells Cassian about Briallen. And this is when she names her sword.
She decides that she wants to name her sword Ataraxia, which can I tell you, to me, it sounds like an STD.
It sounds like anorexia to me.
Maybe that's why I feel like it sounds like a disease. But ataraxia, yeah, to me, it sounds like you're like, man, I went out, hooked up this really gross guy the other night, and now I think I've got ataraxia.
Yes, but she found this name in a book in the library that refers to it's supposed to be a philosophical concept that means state of serene calmness, like inner peace, freedom from emotional disturbance, which God knows she needs that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like healing from emotional trauma. All right, so Cassian just laughs. He laughs hysterically at the name. He's like, that's a name. that is a name choice, but it's yours and I'll respect it. He's fine with it. He's just like, that's different. It reminds me of the movie Where the Heart Is. She names her daughter Americus. And everybody's like, what the hell kind of name is that?
Right.
He's like, it's a strong name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. Everybody's like, what the fuck kind of name is that? And she's like, it's the name I chose. Suck it.
It makes me feel calm. Back it down.
Right. It's my name. Leave it alone. They go to leave and they go through the corridor and they come face to face with Lanthus. And Lanthus is terrifying. He is basically a mist, a dark mist, and he can go into a physical human form, but when he is this dark mist, he's basically unstoppable.
He kind of reminds me of like what Bryaxis is.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. He was contained into, you can't kill him, but you can contain him, according to him.
Yeah.
And he was contained into the prison by Cassian, so he specifically hates Cassian. Yeah. And Cassian did it with the use of an ash mirror. So it kind of made me think like the Vayne, what is the Vayne god? Narcissist.
Oh, okay.
Narcissist. It reminds me of Narcissist and how like he just wants to stare at himself in the mirror all day.
Yes.
Like, I guess he's that in love with himself because when he does go into physical form, he's apparently like this beautiful being.
Yes.
But somehow Cassian had trapped him using an ash mirror into the prison. And so he has got a hell of a vendetta against Cassian, and who just happens to be standing outside the door waiting for them. But Lanthus, apparently when she was touching the harp and she plucked one of the strings, it didn't just open the door to let her out, it also opened the door that let Lanthus out.
Yes.
And he met them in the hallway. Well, Cassian screams at her to run because he's like, okay, I'm dead. There's no way I'm going to be able to beat this. Like, he will kill me. Like, I tricked him before, but now he's going to kill me. So in his mind, he's saying, I'm about to die. I need to get Nesta out of here. That's all that matters. So he tells Nesta to run, and she does at first.
Yes.
While Cassian is fighting. He even throws her a siphon to help protect her and shield her. And she starts to run. And as she gets closer to the gate, she sees that the Autumn soldiers are coming in. And Briellen had told her, I know where you are now.
Yes.
And the shields are down, remember, because Rhys had lowered the shield. So free reign for anybody to come in. And so she's got a handful of Autumn soldiers coming at her.
Yes.
That are being controlled by Briellen. And she's got Cassian dying behind her, fighting Lanthus. And she realizes, I have to fight. Like, I can't leave him. And so she plucks another string on the harp. It says, take me back to Cassian, which it does.
Yes. And then he asks her what death god she is.
That's when he says, wait, what kind of death god are you that you can control those things?
Yes.
So easily.
He offers her like a vision of like rebuilding what the old gods were before. And it kind of goes into like a history of the Daglin, which this is what is so fucking, oh my God, we got to do this. We got to do the episode of Crescent City crossover because we've got the story of the history of the Daglin and we've got the Autumn soldiers that are being controlled. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, the Azteri in Crescent City are the Daglin. I mean, the Daglin is the Azteri. They're the same thing. Yes. Yeah. I cannot wait.
Bryce's dad.
Yeah, Rune and Bryce's dad. Yeah. Autumn King. Yeah, all of that. All of that. What is it with the Autumn? I don't know. So she goes back and as she's talking to Lanthus and he realizes who she is. Apparently, Nesta's reputation outproceeds her and they have even heard of her in the prison. The person who took from the Cauldron. Yeah. And now carries Silver Flame. Like, she barely understands her power and it is like spoken of on the wind to these beings in the prison. So the minute she says, I'm Cauldron Maid, I'm not a death god, he knows who she is. And he's like, you should be my partner. And he gives her a vision of what it would be like to be with him. And he obviously doesn't know her because it doesn't sound great. I mean, he's got her on a throne. He gives her even visions of them doing it and how much pleasure he could bring her. And jokes on him and anybody really, because she has unknowingly made it to somebody else.
She has no interest in
she has no interest in that. Yeah, it's just not her thing. So as she is sitting there talking to him, she snaps out of this vision and
Yeah.
tells him to go back to a cell. And he says he'll escape again and he'll find her. And she says, I don't think you will. Right in time for Cassian to throw a perfectly aimed dagger into his heart.
Yep.
And as he's staggering back, she pulls out Ataraxia and kills Lanthus, which did not think could be done, but he did. He's as dead as that poor chipmunk was this morning on my porch. Link went hunting yesterday or this morning. I think it was early this morning he got out. My boys accidentally let the kitty out, and I think he went hunting and he brought home a chipmunk. And Gunnar woke me up telling me we had to take a squirrel to heaven this morning. And so the first thing I got to do bright and early this morning was pick a dead chipmunk up off my porch. So I'm a little traumatized. He was in one piece. I will say that. He was in one piece. So that is a blessing.
So,
but yeah, Lanthus is dead. He dead.
And she plucks a harp again and transports both her and Cassian back to Rhys and Feyre's house.
Because Cassian's sick. Like, he's bad. Lanthus was about to kill him by the time she got back there. I don't know. Every time she turns around, he's about to die. I don't know why he doesn't get that she's terrified of losing. She's seen him almost gutted like 3 times now.
I don't know. We got to get to part 3. Because like that ties into something else I want to say, but I can't say it because we're not in part 3.
So anyway, they get back to the river house, and like as soon as they get back into the river house, like Rhys busts outside. He sees them both. I can only imagine what poor Rhys is imagining. He sees it's like Cassian on the verge of death, just covered in blood.
Yeah.
And then there's Nesta. I keep wanting to say Feyre. Then there's Nesta standing there with a harp in one hand, Ataraxia in the other, and Cassian falling at her side. Like I can only imagine what he's thinking when he sees them. He gets them inside, gets them cleaned up. She explains what happened, tells them that there is a 4th object, a 4th trove.
Yeah.
Part of the trove. But nobody knows what it is yet, and it's not on this planet.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert, it's tattooed into Bryce's back, but we'll talk about that in Crescent City.
Oh my God. We just got to have the episode. We got to have the episode.
I know.
You got to finish book 3. You got to finish book 3.
Leslie, Nicole, Esther, Marie. I'm just throwing middle names. I know Esther is one of them. I will get there. Okay. I'm telling you, if I start listening to Crescent City again right now while I'm trying to finish Silver Flame again, it's going to be a whole world of mix up.
Oh, and y'all, if you haven't tried out Dungeon Crawler Carl, I was telling Jules about it before we started recording. I'm halfway through. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Do it. Just fucking do it. Princess Donut is the shit.
So now that they know that Briellen has the crown for sure, Rhys wants to go after it, and Feyre absolutely does not. Rhys thinks that if they can get their hands on the crown, it would be best, but Feyre knows that anybody who gets too close to Briellen will be under her control, and Az wants to go, and her and Rhys are both like, absolutely not. Like, no, we're just going to have to leave this alone. We want the crown, yes, because we don't want her to have it, but no, you're not worth losing. Like, you're not, it's a risk that we just can't take. They all agree, and even Nesta agrees that one of the most important things that comes from all of this is they have got to secure their alliance with Eris.
And that means seduce him.
Eris is coming to winter solstice.
And she's got to learn how to do the dancing and all that.
And Nesta knows. They say, and at one point, Elaine tells the story at dinner about how Nesta is so deadly, quote unquote, on the dance floor that nobody else knows what's happening when Nesta takes the floor. She's just magic to watch on the dance floor. Very much how like Feyre creates these masterpieces and Elaine's gardens are the most beautiful. Nesta is a dancing ball pro.
Yeah.
Just a ballroom dancing pro. If this was Dancing with the Stars, she'd be getting the Mirror Ball trophy every time. And so they say, we need you to use your dancing. We need you to seduce Eris. He is coming to winter solstice. And Cass is like, yeah, I don't like that. And Nesta looks at him and she's like, yeah, I can do it. And it even says in the book, like, Nesta agrees to it, partly because Cass got all territorial on her,
Yeah.
and partly because she knows it needs to happen. But it was also a little bit to be like, you don't own me, mofo.
Right.
And I thought that was funny because there is still a little bit of that pride there.
And the last thing we'll hit on before we finish out this section is that her and Cassian go to her old cottage and she talks to him about her father and the hate she carried and how she can see that he loved her so much. Like the one thing that they carried to that cottage was a bed. And even though she looks at that bed and is like, ugh, this is not the place that I was happy to be in. Like he slept on a cot every night so the three girls could stay warm and have a nice
Right.
bed to lay in. And that even when he hurt his leg, she wouldn't even let
Yeah.
him sleep in the bed. And she feels bad for that. And
Mhm.
he didn't have any hate towards her, even though he was hurt and like probably would have been more comfortable in a bed, but he still slept on the
I think
cot.
what it comes down to is he's able to forgive Nesta for being so awful to him because he felt the same way about himself that she did. I
And
don't think he liked himself any more than she did.
she sees these wood carvings on the mantle and she
Mhm.
takes one,
Takes what, a rose?
a rose that he had carved. And it's very, very symbolic later on.
And that's kind of where we're going to stop right here, guys. It's things are getting good. Nesta has finally opened up to Cassian, and they're at this point they're sleeping together all the time. When I say sleeping together all the time, they're doing all the dirty stuff, and then when it's time to sleep, he leaves or
Yeah.
she leaves. But they will not stay in each other's bed, even though she wants him to stay with her.
Yeah.
She won't do it, and all he wants is for her to say, "Please stay with me tonight,"
Yeah.
but she won't do it. And
Instead,
it's
he just
almost
goes, hold the
like a silent game.
headboard.
He just says, and when she's like, "You're leaving," he goes, "Just sex, right?"
Yeah.
He kind of throws it back in her face a little bit.
And it hurts both of them. It really
It
does.
does. He wants to stay, but he wants her to say, "Please stay."
Yeah.
It's really important to him that she does that.
So now we'll go into hot pickle cold take. Take one. Rhys keeping the pregnancy secret from Feyre is a bigger problem than anyone talks about. And I think we kind of touched on this earlier, that it is a big problem. I can see why he was looking for a solution, didn't want to tell her. I think Nesta did the right thing in telling her, but it wasn't the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him look good, but
No, no. Well, and then he reacts so aggressively to Nesta when he finds out Nesta did tell her by basically threatening her life. Like,
yeah,
I
I'm
will
gonna
fucking
kill
kill
her.
her, get her out of here. He threatens her life. And I think that by doing that, it's a little bit of character regression. I don't think,
Yeah.
no reason that Rhys is a 3 and not a 2.5. He lets his anger get the best of him. It's understandable when it comes to mates and that mating bond. I don't think logic is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not, I don't think that Nesta told Feyre, it's the way with which she told her.
Yes.
She weaponized it.
And that was like our hot take too now. It says Nesta's telling Feyre was correct, even if she did it wrong. It's a fine line. And she did
Yeah.
it wrong, but it
Yeah.
was
Oh,
information.
the method was absolutely wrong. The motivation for telling her in that moment was wrong, although I do think she thought she should know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way it was handled was horrific. We can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's easier to forgive that
Yeah.
because in the end, the right thing was done than it is to forgive keeping the secret from her to begin with. Personally, for me, it would be easier for me to forgive the person who told me, even if they told me in anger, than it would be for me to forgive the people who decided not to tell me to begin with.
Yep. 100%.
Because there's a parallel there in that we took the vote and we decided not to tell you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it wasn't really a vote situation with Feyre. It was Rhys knew and said, don't tell her. Whereas they took a vote on Nesta.
Right.
All right, so hot take 3. Cassian interrupting Lanthus before he said mate is the most infuriating thing in part 2. I did catch that.
Yeah.
They are so desperate to keep that mating bond a secret. It's so reminiscent of Rhys with Feyre.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny, actually.
It is. But I mean, it's sweet in a way because he wants her to figure out on her own. But yeah, no, it can get frustrating. It's like, seriously.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but Cassian protecting her autonomy is one of the things we love the most about him. He's just thinking about his mom. His mom never had those options for her,
Yeah.
so he's not going to take that option away from Nesta. And again, it's the same thing we teach our kids, like why we don't cheat, why we work hard to earn things because it feels good when it comes at you the right way. It's same thing.
And last, Ataraxia is the most important character introduction in part 2. I love how like we have the house in part 1 and Ataraxia in part 2. It's like these
These sentient
two.
objects.
Yes.
It's yeah, no, I agree actually, especially with not just Ataraxia. I would say the creation of all three things
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that she makes are probably pretty important in terms of the introduction. This sword made that Nesta made, well, all of these things, they're accidents.
Yeah.
But they're accidents that can actually kill ancient gods.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's important. Does that mean it can kill a Daglin?
Yeah. Might. We'll find out.
I mean, yeah, so many questions about what this sword can actually do. I mean, it does a pretty damn good job the rest of the book doing other things, but I want to know just how far the Ataraxia can go. Like,
Yeah.
is it just the ultimate killing weapon? I mean, she's Cauldron made, it's Cauldron made.
Well, she's kind of
And
like
then by the end of this book, is it still as powerful?
she's like the ultimate. Well, that's questionable. That is questionable.
Because she's not as
to be
powerful by the end of the
discussed.
book.
No.
Yes, and that's, again, we have to discuss that in part 3.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions, but I do think Ataraxia, even as an object character, yeah, that's a pretty important introduction. The Dead Trove period,
Right.
just all of that is really important.
All right, Brian Babes, before we hit part 3, let's discuss some listener challenge. Rhys and the pregnancy secret. Defend him or drag him. DM us. Open up. There's no wrong answers.
Ataraxia appreciation post. What does the name mean to you for Nesta's art?
Lake scene or bog scene? Which hits you harder? We want the data.
And Cassian keeping the mating bond from her, justified or not. One word answer, then explain yourself. Tag us at Pickle Party Pod. We read everything.
And next time, Jules, tell us about where we're going.
So next time we are going to be talking about a new trope. Leslie and I had so much fun doing Frisky that we decided to go ahead and jump on into a new one. And Louisa from Grief Cat recommended Morning Glory Milking Farm, which is about Minotaur. And we are absolutely going to dive in headfirst to that one on the next episode. I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I wasn't left with the same amount of questions as I was with Frisky, but I got a lot of questions about the world that CM Nescosta creates.
Well, there's more in that series, so I feel like we need to read more.
I think we're going to be diving in heavy, but we're starting with Morning Glory Milking Farm, and we'll go from there. But tune in if you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about Frisky. I can't imagine us talking about Minotaur sex isn't going to be less fun. So tune in. Can't wait to hear.
So until next time, stay brined.
And remember, Nesta Archeron named her sword Ataraxia, serene calm, and then used it to kill an ancient god. May we all find our version of that, a thing named after the peace we want that we can use to destroy what stands in our way.